Sticking with the theme of injured players, so Gabriel Jesus has also been in the headlines a bit because the Palmeiras president has come out and said, Jesus, we want you to come home. Of course, he's still on the mend from his ACL injury, but there's hope that he might be back towards the very end of this year or early next year. I mean, just looking at his situation overall, of course, I think he's now in the last 2 years of his contract. I think, we'd be shocked if there was an extension in the pipeline. So, just first of all, does an exit for Jesus in 2026 look increasingly inevitable?
Yes, I would say so, but I don't think it's going to be the easiest sale, if you see what I mean. It's coming off back of multiple bad knee injuries. He's on big, big wages. So, there are going to be obstacles there. But yeah, I would imagine next year will be the year that we do see Gabriel Jesus move on, which will be a shame. I mean, I love Gabriel Jesus. I think what's happened to him at Arsenal has been a real, real, real shame. I know it's a long time ago now, but the first 6 months of Gabriel Jesus, or the first 3 or 4 months of Gabriel Jesus, were 3 or 4 of the most thrilling months of football I've seen from an Arsenal team, and he was front and center of that. He absolutely transformed this team. He was brilliant, brilliant, and it's such a shame to see it sort of fizzle out the way it has because of injuries since then. I wouldn't sell him in January though. I would keep him in January if he's fit. I think certainly in the summer, that's when you let him go. But I feel like January is or this season, what Arsenal have done with the squad, how they've built it, it's very all in for this season, isn't it? It's just let's do everything we possibly can to try and get over the line this season. And I think Gabriel Jesus could play a part in that in the second half of the season if he's fit, even if it's just in one game or 2 games. That could be the difference between winning a title or not. And there's no other player in the squad who's won a Premier League title in this Arsenal squad. He has that experience. He knows how to get over the line, and he could still make a difference. So I'd just keep him. I know the money men at the Emirates might see differently if there's a good offer on the table and there's a chance to get rid of his wages. But, if I was in Mikel Arteta's shoes, I'd be doing everything I could to just keep every single player in this squad until the end of the season, just to give myself the best opportunity of getting over the line.
You've answered my next question perfectly. I was going to say, can Jesus play a big role for Arsenal in this second half of the season? Because I think, when he is fully fit and firing, there aren't many players better in the Arsenal squad at just, causing chaos and, fashioning chances on their own. And yeah, there are arguments for selling him and keeping him, as you said, but yeah, I look back to that winter renaissance last year, the whole Jesus resurrected at Christmas type thing. I think he had 5 goals against Crystal Palace alone, then scored against Brentford as well, just before that cruel ACL injury. So you still think he could bring something unique to Arsenal in the second half of the season, assuming he is back fit.
If he gets fully fit, yeah. I mean, Arsenal don't have another player like him in the squad, do they? Even if Havertz gets fit and you got Gyökeres up there, there's just a completely different option in Gabriel Jesus. And when you look at how Arsenal sort of prize open pack defenses, there's probably no one better in the squad at maybe doing that than Gabriel Jesus. Obviously, he needs to get fit and make an impact. I don't see him making a massive impact in the second half of the season if he's here, but even if it's just a small impact in one game or 2 games, that could be the difference between winning the title or not. And I just think when you've gone as all in on a season as Arsenal seem to have done this season with the squad that they've built, that feels unsustainable for any longer than 12 months, to be honest, because of the sheer size of it, that if you've decided to go down that route, then just go with it for the whole season. See it out. Keep Jesus. Let him go in the summer if you can, but just keep him, because I do think there is a part of this story that he could still possibly write for Arsenal. He's got the quality to do it, and he's got the experience to do it as well. So yeah, I'd be keeping him.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. I mean, my next question is a little bit of a risky one. I mean, do you think Arsenal will have any regrets about the deal? Because I mean, they paid £45 million for him, I think it was. And then, to be fair, his injury record before he joined, I was looking last night, it wasn't so bad. I think he'd only had one knee injury before joining, and now he's on his fifth. That's just Arsenal for you. I mean, do you think Arsenal might look at this one and think, maybe we made a mistake, or it's been a very stop-start Arsenal career for him, or maybe just what he has brought to Arsenal when he has been fit has been worth the money.
Yeah, I don't think Mikel will look at it as a mistake. I think he'll look at it, there'll be regrets, but the regrets will just be about the injuries. Obviously, I think the signings at the time were exactly what Arsenal needed. It raised the floor to such a level, him and Zinchenko, that double signing, it just raised the floor to such a level that they went from, possible Champions League contenders to really, really giving themselves a good chance of a title in the space of, you know, half a season. And he was front and centre of that. The difference he made, I've said it before, he's the most transformational signing, arguably, that I've seen in an Arsenal team. I mean, he made the difference he made just from putting him at the head of that attack. He turned Arsenal from, an okay team that was on the rise to just an unbelievable team. That first half of the season was incredible what Arsenal did. The points they picked up, the wins they got, the football they played, and Jesus was so integral to that. And Mikel said it, didn't he? He changed our world, and he did. He genuinely did. He helped take Arsenal to another level, and they've been able to build on that ever since. So I don't think Mikel will look at it as a mistake. I think he'll look at it with regrets that that Jesus wasn't able to stay fit and sort of see it through, because I think he could have made a big, big difference. And maybe got Arsenal over the line for a trophy or two in this time. So I don't think he'll look at it as a mistake. I think he'll look at it as a positive signing that made a massive impact and changed Arsenal. But there'll definitely be regrets over the injuries. It's impossible not to have regrets when you've got such a good player who's just spent most of his time, unfortunately, on the sidelines.